Okay.
So we're here. So welcome to Onemanschili. It's a conversational podcast about theme parks. There's a million of these. I don't know. I just wanted to do a thing where I could shoot the shit with some friends. And I guess everybody introduce yourself.
Floor is yours, Larry.
Hello, everyone. It's your favorite Larry Zeepster here to talk about theme parks, to talk about Disney, to talk about Universal, to talk about Knott's Berry Farm.
Ooh.
We're here on this very special day to talk about a very special ride. But before we get into that, Jenny, would you like to take the floor?
Yeah, I'm Jenny. I like theme parks too. And one of my favorite things to do at a theme park is to get supercharged.
You got to put the nitrous on it, you know?
Yeah, we gotta go nitro.
Okay, but I guess before we get started, I'm Jared. And I like theme parks too, as fucking crazy as that might seem. So let's get fucking supercharged. Let's get into it.
That's right. That's right.
Jared,
Yeah.
are you a Fast and the Furious fan?
Yeah, a little bit more than I used to be. I remember being a kid and just like shitting on the films constantly, just because like I was like in that like, oh, I'm above this kind of age where I would just be like aggravated. Like I'm like, oh, I could be watching anything else right now, and it's all these stupid movies taking over Hollywood, and it's like I don't know. That's like the worst take to have about it because they're just like fun movies, more or less.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's my take right now.
I watched Tokyo Drift when I was like 7, and I was like, this is like the coolest like shit in the world. I watched it again as 21, and I was like, this is like the coolest shit in the world.
You're right. I mean,
and at the same age of 21, I would go to Orlando to hang out with you, Jenny, and of course you, Jared, and we would go to Universal Studios Orlando. And I had just recently watched all 8 of the movies at that time.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And no, yeah, it was only a couple months before, so I was actually super excited to ride the Fast and the Furious ride. I was messaging my friend who I marathon the movies with, just, like, dude, I'm about to go on the ride. I'm so excited. So I wait like 60 minutes. The queue's like whatever. It's like a garage. I go and I'm like, okay, this is okay, but the ride itself is gonna be awesome. I go on the ride, and it might have been the most disappointing thing in my life. It was pretty bad. It was not, and. I mean, I guess we just start with the cue, right, of the ride? Or, Victor, what do you want to say? We
probably have some history first, right?
Yeah, because that's the thing. This wasn't just a thing that sprouted out of nowhere. Like, there's, like, a little bit of a history with Fast and the Furious in the parks. Like, I guess we're going to shoot back to, like, 2006. Tokyo Drift is out, and there's sort of a dead zone right after just a little car show thing where you would see a couple of, like, movie cars, like, your Back to the Futures or fucking Flintstone. Yeah, the very first variant of Fast and the Furious being in the park was this thing called Extreme Close-Up in 2006. It's basically this, like, sort of, like, oddball 1-minute demonstration of an explosion effect with, like, cars on, like, little robot arms. There was, like, a bunch of weird, like, long-form press that they were trying to do to make this seem like it was going to be a bigger attraction, but it kind of just had to do with the fact that it was just, like, a Fast and the Furious thing in the park, and that seemed like a really big deal to everybody at the time. But yeah, I don't know.
Am I misremembering, or did they make the cars dance?
They do make the cars dance.
Make the cars
dance. Okay.
It's at the very end. They make it dance to Gasolina, which is like, again, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember going to Universal Studios when I was a kid. I was like 7 for the first time. And I remember being so scared to go on the Jurassic Park ride. Because my brother said that the dinosaur was going to eat me. And that like once every like 100 people would eat us. So I didn't want to go on.
Why would he put a number like that?
That makes it funnier.
Oh god.
That makes it more real.
So I remember crying, not wanting to go on. My mom got super pissed. And she was like, okay, how about we do the tram? That's not going to be intense.
Yeah.
And it wasn't at first. I remember looking at the car part and be like, this is awesome. But then we would later get to the Jaws part, and then he'd try to eat us, and I got super scared and started crying.
Yeah, I would have freaked out.
But the car part in the Fast and the Furious section was really cool. They did it to Gasolina.
That was like too soon for me. That was like, when did you say that was? Like 2006?
2006, and I believe it closed like, I think 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not going to any theme parks by then.
It seems pretty short-lived. Yeah, the way they described it in the press release is that it's a visually spectacular chase sequence inspired by the much-anticipated Tokyo Drift film. Which is like, I think...
That sounds not true.
It's literally just a lie, right? Like, the biggest thing that they like promoted this off was saying guests will be mesmerized by the awesome display of explosive action as two drifting racing vehicles, each attached to gigantic robot arms, careen alarmingly out of control towards tour guests at 45 miles per hour. And it's like I don't know, like, is the thrill of this section just the idea that like cars are being like thrown at you? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
If I remember, that section of the tour isn't even that aggressive. They just like spin around, and like nothing else happens.
But yeah, they were trying to make it seem like it was a much bigger thing than it was.
Right.
There's a really funny advertisement of this particular like part of the tram tour that they like aired on TV, and it has a Rockstar remix by Jason Nevins like in the background of the commercial. But also,
is it like dubstep?
It's kind of like it's like
but
drum and bass kind of almost like EDM.
Yeah.
Of like an NERD song. It just sounds like really awkward. But bigger than that, it's just like showing the super jump cut angle kind of version of the attraction, and you're just like flashing through it. Basically, you see the entire like tram tour section in that commercial. It's like 1 minute long. So, but like they show it in such a like a deceiving way. It's kind of funny to me. So this was around for a little bit, around like 2012, 2013. This is a rumor actually. Some of the Fast and the Furious filmmakers went on the actual tram tour and felt that was like a really bad representation of the presence of like Fast and Furious being in the park. So they demanded to the parks. It was rumored that they demanded it be closed as soon as possible.
So they got mad. They went on it and got mad. They were just like, "Oh my god, this sucks."
It's notable to think because like it's like Fast and the Furious filmmakers thought this was the failure like of their like current public perception. They had no idea what people would think of Supercharged at this point because it didn't even exist yet. It was just being like, well, this is bad. Let's just close it. Close it now. And like, if you even see like videos of people flying over like with drones in the area, like the area is still there. It's just like closed off. Like all the things are still. Yeah, they just haven't tore it apart. It's still sitting there. It's just blocked off.
That's crazy. I guess I never think about. It's like kind of misleading with like the Hollywood park because it's like, oh, we have such limited space, but then like the studio lot itself, there's just so much just rotting there.
And it's like, and I don't know how I'd get people over there anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, Larry, go ahead.
I remember when I went through the tram portion of this, thinking like I felt a little underwhelmed because I was just like I was expecting maybe like a roller coaster when it came to Fast and the Furious. Or something like, and this was before, this was like when Tokyo Drift came out. This was before the franchise itself, like the stories became so convoluted, so over the top. And I was thinking like, can't they make this like cooler? Like a grander,
you got
a grander
your wish.
project.
You got your wish.
More or less.
I did. I did.
The thing is about it though, it's crazy to think that like, okay, you sitting down and you're like, well, what's the things that you would think of when you think of Fast and the Furious? Like what is literally in the title of like the franchise? It's just, you know,
Fast
and Furious, you know, it's like
That's
it's
right.
like, you know, you want to feel the G-force or something on an attraction like that. And maybe if that's like the only extent of it, it seems kind of awkward considering like these were like money making movies. So like it seemed inevitable that it would show up in the park as like a big, you know, big shot Universal like franchise. But we're like at Fast 6 and Fast 7 and all the way flash forward to Hollywood Supercharged. And I guess we heard what Larry's like experience with Supercharged was just going up to it initially. Jenny, what was your thought like coming onto this attraction for the first time? Like just getting into the queue and just getting into the direction of this like, I don't know.
Well, I remember like this attraction was kind of a thing in like 2014, 2015, right?
Right.
And I think that was like around when I first started going to the Universal like park. And so like my memory of the studio tour is just like that's been imprinted on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't really know anything else besides that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, okay, I know that this has changed since, but they originally had it throughout, like, the entire tram tour is, like, hyping you up on this thing.
One of the
And
big
it's
marketing
like,
parts, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be like, well, no, not even that. It would be like story beats. It'd be like, oh, there's like a black Dodge Charger like parked on the set over here. I don't
Like,
know what's going on over
What's
there.
so funny about that is, like, you're on a studio set, like, it's a film studio. What would be weird about seeing a period-specific car in, like, a film studio?
Well, they say it's unauthorized. It's
Yeah.
an unauthorized vehicle.
Oh, come on. Like, who would even be paying attention to
Okay,
that?
and then, so, I thought it was lame. And this is from, like, you know, I'm, like, still pretty young at the time. And I think, like, the King Kong ride is still pretty fucking cool, where it's, like, you know, he's, like, beating the shit out of dinosaurs, and it's, like, on a screen.
You could still get amazed by that, too. Like, you can look at that and get, like, excited and, you know, like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know?
No, I was definitely underwhelmed. And the CG looked bad. I guess we'll go into that later, but...
Yeah. Oh, boy. I guess we'll just get cracking with Hollywood Supercharged. The updated version of the Fast and the Furious attraction on the tram opened in June 2015 as a part of the tram tour, which I remember specifically at this time, like, the skepticism of, like, another Fast and the Furious thing going here. Eventually, when it was announced to be a part of the tram tour, like, everybody was like, huh? What's going on here? It was just kind of like an awkward beat. But, yeah, anyway, so in the tram version of the Hollywood Universal version of this attraction is... You're driving down Wisteria Lane, and you pass by a Dodge Challenger, and the tour guide makes some kind of comment about how weird it is to see, like, a car that's unauthorized in this film studio. So they call in security.
That's right.
Yeah, and they call in security, and then suddenly they're hijacked by FBI agent Novak, who I want to mention is a ride-exclusive Fast and the Furious character. Hell yeah. You know?
I like that.
Yeah, like, you know.
Well, you have Agent Novak at Universal, and you have Jake Novak at Disney Parks. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that information.
You know what?
publicly.
Whatever.
Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think half of the people probably are gonna know who that is anyway. But you know what? There's he's a ride agent. Novak is this ride exclusive character for Fast and the Furious, and I just want to say that's really funny that they don't have any mainsteads or, like, villains besides Shaw. Just to, like, he tells the guests on the tram that the outlaw Dominic Toretto owns the vehicle, and he's announcing to a bunch of randos that he's gonna arrest this guy in, like, a not cool way. And then suddenly we get intercut by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who appears, and then just, like.
He comes in and goes badass. He goes a little badass.
He does come in and go badass, and he's like, listen up, listen up, Snowflake.
Pookie pants.
Let's wrap this up. I'm Agent Hobbs or whatever.
He starts rattling this fucking FBI guy's chops, like, immediately, and just starts making fun of him.
He takes out a giant gun. Okay,
Okay,
like, look
not
at
yet,
this.
Well, he just demasculates him immediately. It's amazing. It's what's great about it is, like, it's like a little bit of, like, the Rock Johnson style, like, showboating razzle dazzle, like when he was, like, in his wrestling days a little bit. Like, you can sense that's, like, the vibe he's going. But yeah, he tells the tram that he's gonna.
So.
Yeah, like a little bit. He's like, oh, come on, Pookie Pants. Like, he's like giving him, like, little pet names.
You think he's like tributing, like,
he's like stoic in this, and like when he was wrestling, he was. Anyways, that's like a whole other. We'll do that on the Rock
I don't
episode.
know. I think it's kind of funny because it's just like he was like being like a little subtle, hinting to like his roots of like being a WWE wrestler player at the Fast and the Furious ride.
Wow, that's so poignant of him.
I just thought he was just doing, like, a couple pet names.
Like true Dwayne fans will be like, oh yeah, that's a reference to when he took on like what's a WWE wrestler, like the Undertaker or whatever.
Cold Stone Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Stone Cold. Sorry, not Cold Stone. Stone Cold.
Cold Stone Steve Austin. He's gonna sing a little song when you put some money in his jar. Yeah, so he tells the car that he's gonna take over the mission. And in a very Star Tours kind of way, they announce that someone on board the vehicle is a witness from the Witness Protection Program. And I think everybody who's mentioned this attraction has also pointed out, it's like, oh yeah, it's great that, like, this witness has decided to go to a very public place in LA for the sole purpose of riding the tram tour. Like, this is, like, worth risking your life is getting, like, on the fucking tram tour. But, yeah, so Shaw, the villain from Fast 6, is coming to get them. And now everyone on the tram is in risk of a Shaw-enraged piss storm. So, I don't know. You don't want to mess with this guy. I don't know much about Shaw, Larry, can you lead me in on this a little bit? Can we get a little bit of lore on Shaw?
Tell us about Shaw, because you're the fast expert.
Yeah.
Okay, so in a movie titled Fast and the Furious 6, there's this guy. Oh my god, I forget his name. He's the brother of Shaw. He's the brother of Shaw, and he gets like completely owned by the Fast and the Furious crew. He gets like utterly destroyed by them. And in the next movie, Fast and the Furious 7, he's at the hospital. Shaw's at the hospital bed, staring at his brother, and be like, "They'll pay for this."
Oh.
He kind of like destroy. I might be misremembering this, but he destroys the entire hospital, and then like the entirety of the movie is him being like the most evil guy in the universe, going after the Fast crew.
Oh man.
And Shaw's like, he's like the Thanos of like the Fast and the Furious universe up to that point. Nothing gets in. He's like indestructible. He's like a major threat.
And he's not just in the first one or the 6. He's in like the other ones as well, right? Like
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing kind of like is kind of crazy about Fast and the Furious, is that like the very next movie, the 8th one, he becomes friends with everyone. So in the 7th one, he's trying to kill everyone, but then like he's like defeated. It's like a Team Rocket like blast forward again, and then it leads to the 8th movie where he's like, "Guys, I'm sorry that happened. Let's go defeat this new big baddie."
That's like an arc. You know?
I guess it is like an arc, but they do this often in Fast and the Furious where like there's like a main big villain, then they become friends with the villain by like the end of the movie or the next film.
It's just to go to show that family can come from anywhere.
That's true. That's true. And that's the beautiful part about Fast and the Furious. Let me stress too, Shaw and Hobbs have like a big rivalry. Like they hate each other.
Oh yeah.
So
I was gonna ask about Hobbs and Shaw, but I don't want to like derail everything. So, but fucking.
That's the only one I have not seen. Hobbs and Shaw. That's the only one I have not watched.
All I know is it's the greatest team up of the Fast and the Furious series, as the marketing was so adamantly to tell me about every fucking second. Hobbs has the tour guide pull into the shelter inside this big show building that's supposed to be a safe house. It's filled with recognizable cars from the films, and you're greeted by Roman and Letty showing off these cars to you awkwardly, and then they invite you to come join the party after Dominic Toretto's celebrating a big race just a little bit ago. You pull into this scene, and it's a tiny group of holograph partygoers. It looks so bad that it's not even funny.
That's right, they're doing a Pepper's Ghost effect, which keen theme park enjoyers would know this classic trick.
They just hold their hand out and they're like pointing at it with their mouth agape. I want to break down this scene because it's really funny to me, because you pull in here and it's like you have like maybe like I feel like 20 or 30 people max like in this like little circle, and nobody's really dancing. Like they're all like sort of stuck in one place. Somebody pointed out to me that they're like all very, very, very stiff, and they're like moving around like just very menially. And it's just so they don't get like out of the where the projection screen is going to go. If you like step too far out of the camera, then the effect is ruined, you know? So there's probably some kind of thing there why they're not really dancing super hard. Yeah, I don't know what I mean, this is for me where the ride like officially was like, okay, this is not going to be that good of an experience. Like this is going to be a little bit this is like it's like, oh, this is the kind of ride we're in for, like a screen-based attraction. But what do you think?
If you watch the Fast and the Furious movies, like
yeah,
because I watched at the point it was like all 8 movies. I never took it seriously. I was like, okay, it's whatever.
Right.
And at that point in the ride, I didn't lose hope. I was like, okay, this is kind of like.
Yeah, it's camp, right? It's camp.
It's a little campy. It's a little campy. And I'm like, okay, it's about to get like really goated real soon. And I was still like so optimistic, being like, okay, it's kind of campy, but that goes with Fast and the Furious. That's why people love the movies, because like we're talking about in the 8th movie of this franchise. I'm not exaggerating here. The main plot point is them trying to stop nuclear war with their Dodge Challengers. That's
so
actually
awesome.
The main plot point of that movie.
Yeah, and it's so awesome, and it's like that's like the point of no return, I think, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, like there were heist movies before. They're like spies, and at one point it feels like, but like whenever you go to nuclear, when you get to the fucking nuclear war, defeated by like a Dodge Challenger, and like you just accept it for what it is, and I'm sure they kind of accepted that was the general like perception of it. Which is like sort of like a weird death of the author. Yeah, and then they go to fucking space.
They go to space. I forgot about that.
I will catch up with those movies for the sole reason of I want to see what fucking bullshit they pull out for just being like, yeah, we're gonna go to space in this one.
It's not as fun. It's not as cool as you expect.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll see when I get to that, I guess. I don't know. But I am very excited.
Maybe they'll update
that.
the ride.
Oh, fingers
do a
crossed.
Space segment.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll do like, instead of like Jimmy Fallon to the moon, they'll do like...
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw go to the moon. Race to the moon.
It'll look competitive still yet, I'm sure. So, Agent Novak comes in, shoos everybody away from this party, and then Roman arrives, just on the scene, and then he just pulls a gun on Roman pretty casually, and I guess Roman does like a couple of jokes that don't really land super well. like he's like trying to do like the Rock Johnson like riffing thing, and it's just like it goes in one ear and out the other.
If there is one thing I love about these videos of like the ride throughs, it's that nobody laughs.
Yeah, well, okay, well
they have a lot of jokes in the queue, but nobody laughs.
It's a little dead space, and it's like, oh boy,
it's very brave. What do they call the Universal Studios employees? They don't call them cast members.
They call them team members.
Team members. Yeah. It's very brave of them to be there in the queue and riff off of Ludacris.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Much props to them.
Oh, I can't. I really can't wait to talk about that. Still, trust me. So Roman exclaims, "I don't work for you." And Novak says, "Oh yeah? Well, who do you work for?" And then we get the most badass sequence ever, dude. Like, Dom and Letty emerging from the ground in, like, the most spectacular fashion.
We don't work for nobody.
To the thunderous roar of the tram audience that our heroes are finally here to save the day. And Novak is clearly outnumbered. And Hobb walks out, and he's basically just outgunned by that point. What does he say?
He's like, I'm the one with the gun. Well, this one's a whole lot bigger.
And I swear to God, every video I've seen of people riding the ride, and even when I've been on the actual attraction myself, like over in the Orlando one, the crowd cheers when like The Rock walks out. Like I've had people on there who like get excited about it. You're like,
it's hype. It's hype.
Black Adam.
It's got like I could see like if the attraction was just a show and you're just seeing celebrities walk out, like I think that would have just worked.
Yeah, Jumanji.
Just Jumanji.
That's what the audience says.
Letty expresses some concern about why this witness is so high profile and that things might get a little violent, but Dom, in a very fatherly kind of way, expresses how the whole family would protect us, the audience, and the tram goers.
He says, don't be scared, basically. Yeah. Don't be afraid.
He says, the whole family's here.
He reaches his hand and he puts it on your leg, and they have like a mechanism on the tram.
You start calming down. At this point, like right before then, your blood's like boiling, but then like as soon as Dwayne touches you, like, you begin to cool down, and you know it's gonna be okay. You feel his warm embrace.
But I'm so serious when I say this is like maybe the most warm feeling that any like attraction has ever given me. Because it's just like this, like, I don't know. It's like having Dom introduce you to the like Fast and the Furious family. Like you aren't just some person. You aren't just another racer to him. He's taking you under his wing. It's beautiful. I
guess that is sweet.
Yeah, like in a way, don't you think? I don't know. But Roman's phone goes off, and Letty very calmly like shrugs off the fact that now their location is exposed, which is really funny. Just because it's like Hobbs walks in with a gun, like, it's a whole lot big. I mean, I know his whole thing's to be cool and collected, but I don't know. It's like even Letty's just like, well, I guess they found out where we are. Like it's like a mildly inconvenient.
The writing seems really off. I guess
because of course really
I saw all the movies. It seems so forced. Like it's almost like a very corporate way to write Fast and the Furious, and that's insane to say because it's Fast and the Furious, right? But there's like no heart at all.
It actually is missing the charm.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to the acting. It's like no one gives a shit. No one cares.
I know. Which is like, I think I would, okay, if I'm an actor, I'm getting situated to do a ride, like wouldn't you want to do the best you can? Like this is where the Oscar acting comes out. Because it's like, people are going to see this for years and years and years and years to come. Like you can't phone it in. You know what I mean? That's probably a lot of pressure though. I don't want to stress out Dom. Basically what happens now is that the tram is moved to the basement hideaway, which notably sometimes the tram tour guide will mention how it's the Jurassic Parking in the Universal Hollywood. It's just like a little gag for you, I guess. Shop appears out with the flamethrower as soon as you enter the room, and he starts shouting, "Where's the witness?" And you get really scared. And then Dominique shows up. He floors it, slams right into the side of his car like a fucking boss. He says, "Not this time. This is our turn."
I do not remember him saying "not this time." That sounds like you made that.
I swear to God. Okay, he says "not this time" 3 times in this 2-minute attraction. He says "not this time" fucking 3 times in a row. And I counted it.
That's his catchphrase.
Last time, sure, you got away with that one. Next time, maybe I'll give you that one too, but not this one.
It's so... if you can, go back and watch it at some point. Just, like, notice how many times he says, "Not this time, Shaw! Not this time." Like, he just, like, shouts out to him, just letting him know. But this kicks off everything. This is where the attraction begins. And suddenly, everything looks like a fucking PS3 game. And you're looking around at all these cars, and suddenly you realize, like, oh my god.
GTA 5.
You're suddenly realizing, oh my god, this is King Kong.
Yeah.
If you're a theme park person.
Well, it looks bad. It looks like it's from like a PS3 game. It looks bad.
Well, here's the thing. Not only is it King Kong technology, but the graphics on King Kong look better.
Absolutely. And, like, I also want to say, like, for King Kong, it works a lot better because you aren't moving fast. Like, you're getting shaken around. Maybe it looks like, oh, I might fall. But, like, there's no exertion of G-force. And if it is, it's very light.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, and you're just mostly staying in one spot and you're seeing these things happen. You maybe move a little bit and shake around, but it's nothing more than just a couple hydraulics could do. Because, again, these are trams, you know. These aren't meant to go super fast. They're just they're trams. So that kicks everything off. You just get this immediate rush of, oh my god, this is what the ride's going to be. This is like the most universal attraction I can think of. Like when people have the issue with the screen use, it's like, this is pretty egregious. And for some reason, King Kong, like over Islands of Adventure, doesn't bother me or rub me the same way, I guess, because there's like a giant, King Kong animatronic at the end. There's like at least some effort.
Right.
I don't know. The queue is more interesting. There's a lot going on there, I think. But yeah. So there's no effects, though, on that tram to get the effect of moving fast. So it's kind of a little bit of an awkward beat. You're just kind of standing there.
Well, they hit you. You're talking about like the signatures of Universal. Mm-hmm. Not only is it a screen ride, but they do their signature of spitting water at you, blowing air at you. It's like really.
I may be like a little bitch, but I hate that. I hate like them blowing the air in. It's like the loudest sound of all time, and it makes me so mad. It's just so many things are going on, and then they decide to like blow out your eardrums while you're watching like Dominic Toretto like go around like it's not this time, and I'm just like, dude, I don't have enough time to react.
Yeah, they do that on like like the jump scare on the Haunted Mansion. They do it on that.
I think that might be the worst. I might have made this podcast just to talk about how much I fucking hate compressed air on like attractions. Like this stems back all the way to like the Figment ride, and it's a totally different conversation.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst. To me, this is like one of the worst, especially when we get to the Orlando one, which it's not going to be super in depth. I mean, a lot of it is carried over from Hollywood. But
imagination can be a blast.
it's like PTSD from just like thinking of that scene. I will not ride that attraction.
It just makes me scared, and I start crying, and like
I'm absolutely a wimp because that's for a ride for literal children.
No, it is overstimulating.
It's like a couple seconds before like Dom was telling you it was gonna be okay, and then like compressed air is being blown in. He's just like I was just lied to. I don't feel protected.
I don't feel like I'm part of this family.
You might get a little afraid. You might be worried, but Dom is there the whole way through to hold your hand. Depending where you're seating on this ride, it's like 2 drastically different rides. Like if you sit on left, you get a lot of The Rock, and you see him like just casually murdering a couple people. like he's like shooting them down.
They're like on the I-880, like just fucking murdering.
Yeah, like just gunning people.
It's like downtown LA.
So real.
You see like helicopters crash. You see multiple cars like blow up. It's just
you see the helicopter that's
LA.
the same size as Vin Diesel.
I'm so ready to talk about it, but there's a couple more things. If you can, as fast as this ride goes through, there's a lot to take in. I promise you.
No, okay, I disagree, but go on.
So you have basically Letty and Dom, and I believe Roman. He's on the other side in one of the tow trucks. They throw a hook, if you're really paying attention. They throw hooks on both sides of the tram, and then they began, like, just burgeoning it through the fucking streets of LA.
Yeah, they say hook 'em up.
Yeah, they say hook him up. They shout it. And now if Shaw's trying to stop him by hitting Dom in the back of his Challenger. Somehow, I've watched this like a million times. I don't know where it comes in. But Letty is on an excavator out of fucking nowhere. And I don't know where that came into it. She's on an excavator. And she picks up Shaw with the excavator and says, "How about you eat asphalt?" And like throws him into the fucking concrete wall. I'm assuming it kills him. I don't know what this takes.
He's dead. He's gone.
This is a different Fast timeline where she just kills him.
Yeah, casual murder timeline. This is like where like I don't know like it's just funny watching these characters just murder like on this like I guess
That is
mostly
pretty
family
funny, gotta
run.
admit.
I will say this is the most they've ever killed people. Like,
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of guns.
Like how long is this? Like a minute, 2 minute long ride? This is like the most deaths to ever occur in like any Fast and the Furious like form of media. This is like
It's an extreme amount of guns for 2015.
this is them being like it's just complete slaughter.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's pretty funny to just watch just like I don't know, just a constant obliteration and destruction at every corner. So after we watch Shaw die a horrible death in front of us, now there's a tiny, like the tiniest helicopter, like a missile helicopter you've ever seen in your entire. Let me keep it
It
up.
looks so bad.
The tiniest missile helicopter you've ever seen in your entire life appears. And if I had to assume they had like actual missiles on them, they would just immediately cave and like smash into the ground, you know. But somehow they're supporting the weight of Vin Diesel because he hops out of his Challenger. And then we get the funniest visual of the ride.
Grabs on. That's the iconic scene.
I know. He grabs onto a hold of the bottom of the helicopter.
That's basically like the signature moment of the ride, I think.
Yeah, because it's in the posters and everything, which...
I think he's like dangling from the helicopter, and if I remember, like he's heavier than the helicopter. I think it's implied because he carries the weight of the helicopter down. The helicopter is pushed down by his weight.
Yeah, they can't like weave him away or anything. Like he flies to the other side of it, and then he like switches hands so he's still facing the side of the car. So like each side of the car can see that Vin Diesel is holding onto this helicopter for dear life. But my favorite part about this is we're talking about calm daddy Dom. He's holding onto the bottom of this thing.
What did
and
he
shouts,
just call him?
It's a fatherly thing. I'm not trying to be.
Oh
weirdly
yeah, I guess
sexual
he is
about
like
it,
fatherly.
okay?
He's part
trying
of
to
the family.
he's trying to hold your hand and like this is family. This isn't. We don't get into the incest side of it.
Jesus
okay,
Christ.
but
What the fuck?
listen, just okay. So he's holding on to the bottom, and he shouts. What does he shout? Actually, what do you guys remember him shouting?
What does he shout?
When he's on the bottom of this helicopter? He's holding on for dear life. What does he shout to us to remind us what's going on?
Just like chop on this.
Whoa, does he say not this time?
No, he just shouts that like a randomly exclamatory thing. He's like, "Don't worry, I got you," and then he just flies away.
I
think at that
Vin Diesel line reads because they're so accurate.
I think at that point in the ride,
Yeah.
in the ride when he's dangling on the helicopter, I was already like mad. I was already pissed off.
It's officially where you checked. I think I checked out at eat asphalt, but
I checked out the
I don't
moment they
know.
started blowing like the compressed air into my ears. At that moment, I was just like mad. I was just like, "Why are you doing this?"
I swear to God, it's just like static noise at that point. Like this is the point of no return for me. So
it's like so much happens in 1 minute, but so much doesn't happen in 1 minute too. It's like
it's static noise. It's just complete white noise for like a solid 2 minutes, and then it's over. We watched Dom defeat the helicopter. He hops into the back of Roman's car with his Mona Lisa, as he calls it. And as the crew come to a giant jump hill, Letty shouts, "Hit the nitrous!" And you fly over the hill. And she also,
that's when we go. That's when we supercharge.
We're supercharged. Letty shouts, "We're not gonna make it!" And Dom, saying the final line of this ride, he shouts, "Ride or die." And then you hid behind a bunch of fucking... it's a bunch of crates around you. And then you've survived the jump, and now the ride is immediately over.
It really is like immediately over. Like you land and it's like, oh, let's wrap this up.
It's fast. It's like really fast if I remember.
I remember going on it with all of you, and just how quickly it ended and how jarring it was for everybody really shocked me. Like, I was like, wow, like, that's it? It's like, you don't even get, like, a Optimus Prime in like, the Transformers ride where he, like, gets down on one knee.
Yeah, you don't
like,
even get to do the
Thank
party.
you, super soldiers. Yeah, it's just like bullshit. Like the tram, it's Vin Diesel, it's Letty, it's all these other characters. They're all here standing, and what it looks like, they're just standing outside of like a studio, like on like iPhone footage, and they're just like, "Thank you for your help out there. We really did it today. You're a part of my family. We'll vouch for you every time."
All their arms are like folded. They're just like,
yeah, they're pissed off.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
I just like I see how they're posed in that, and I'm just like thinking about like what went through the director's head when he was like, "All right, now like lean up against the car, now like kind of like
try to look as badass as possible."
That's perfect. And the lighting's really bad.
Yeah, it's like iPhone footage. It's just straight up just iPhone footage. It looks like
they didn't color correct.
God damn. Like it's just like whatever. All right, whatever. Yeah, and then it just sort of just ends, and then like the rest of your tram. I think it ends immediately after that, doesn't it? The tram is just like done after. That's like the big finale.
I think that's the last thing that you actually do on the tram.
Yeah, then you roll out.
Right?
Roll out.
And then I guess they don't say it outright in the tram version, but they're like, well, go out and enjoy yourself. It's incredible.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It says grand finale of the studio tour, the Fast and the Furious ride.
There you go. I guess if this was just a tram tour, I would have way less of a problem with it. But having finished the Hollywood version, I guess we could touch a little bit on the Universal Orlando version of the attraction. Oh my god. This is the version I went on initially. This is the one is closest to me, of course. But, yeah, I remember the outdoor facade just being like the ugliest, like, brick wall building. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it looks like ass.
Dude, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, I get it. It's supposed to be like a mechanic thing, but it's like so drab. Like, there's ways to make, like, the like, industrial drab looking thing going on. Like, you can make that interesting. Like, think of, like, Rise of the Resistance.
I don't know if I'm not sure if I agree with that, because I've seen multiple, I feel like I've seen that, and I've seen, like, the Transformers thing, and it's
those are, yeah, and they're, like, horrible execution.
You gotta just look beyond this.
But, like, I think Rise of the Resistance gets away with it, because it's, like, more of it's, like, a similar concept, sort of, but, like, I guess it's more alien, That's, like, the whole vibe of it.
That's different.
Like, there's more scenic areas, and you walk into the queue of this ride for the Orlando edition, and it's a garage full of movie cars and trap music and dubstep. And you get little clips on these, like, big TVs, sort of akin to, like, the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem queue, where it's just, like, clips from the movie and just reminding you what happens in these films.
I have a lot of great videos of us going through this queue, because I think we were there for a while.
I think they were playing Skrillex, weren't they? Or, like,
there was Bangarang a couple times. I think there was Bangarang, like, once or twice.
I think I remember Gangnam Style into Bangarang.
Shut up.
I remember that, too.
Gangnam Style, yeah. We were there for that.
But it's like, the queue's like a garage. It's like, it's kind of like, and I get the queue.
Mm-hmm.
I think they try to make it as interesting as they can, given the circumstances.
I don't think it's horrible, but I could imagine, like, you're waiting in that for a long time. It's just like, all right, let's wrap this up.
Well,
I will say it's not claustrophobic, which I do like about it.
Yeah.
If you're waiting there for like 65 minutes, I'd probably get pretty sick of staring at like a bunch of like various tools.
Well, I'd be sick of looking at anything for 65 minutes.
And I'd get sick of listening to Bangarang for like the 10th time.
They do
that point,
it's like
too.
a 10-minute loop. I remember that being another thing. Like, we were in there maybe 30-40 minutes, and it's like a 10-minute music loop, pretty much, and like it's only like a minute or two of each song. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess like if you're a super fast head, if you're a furious head, you get like a lot of these like just like photos and like not really even callbacks. Like, I mean, like there's like a photo of Paul Walker on one of the the little tool sheds or whatever. I don't know. It's just like little fucking things. But
R.I.P.
R.I.P. He's family. Sorry for sounding so fucking bored when I said that. Just being like, yeah, sorry, he's family. He's part of. He's one.
I didn't even think.
It sounded like me brushing off. Like, yeah, fucking wow. Cool.
You just pissed off all the Paul Walker fans listening to this.
Okay, let's move on.
So I don't know. There's like little callbacks and all sorts of shit all over. If you really care, And then but everything around it just feels like very not lived in. Like there's just barrels and like fucking crates like just out of nowhere. It's like, all right, okay.
Oh yeah, you brought up how they have like desks where people would like work as like, oh yeah, here's a Dom's desk or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like,
it's
well,
just like he
okay.
did not. No one has ever sat there.
Yeah, you
That would
never
imply-
see that in the movies.
That would imply that like Dom sits down at any point and like really has like a time to like think to himself. Like I think that's an exciting thought of being like in this attraction and being like, I'm where Dom would sit right now. Like I'm standing right next to where the thinking happens. You know? Yeah, you're in the line and then now you're part of the pre-show. And you get into the very first room and you experience some very stiff actors, usually, no offense.
That's right.
Like interacting with Ludacris on a FaceTime video. And and it's always a little tough. They're usually named Jamie or Pat for these two little sequences. Supposedly, and just take this with a grain of salt, team members that are picked out to do these scenes aren't from the actor division. They aren't trained as actors. They're from the operations side of the attraction. So basically the people who are just operating the ride, who are pressing the go button, the stop the ride, and all that other stuff. So if you feel like, oh, these guys are kind of awkward, well, consider yourself lucky, because we watched this very awesome video provided to us by Jenny about, and no, I'm not trying to come sideways at this actor or anybody. It's just a really awkward video of this guy, like, just, like, this, like, theater actor kid just giving it his all, and it's, like, just...
Jamie, the buses are here.
Oh, that's bussin'. You get it? Like a bus? Oh, never mind. Oh, Bald Eagle's calling. Can I...
I got this, Jamie.
I'll just tap right in.
Dom, what up?
Let him cook, I guess.
Judge, just got a heads up from Hobbs.
Great, now what?
The FBI's about to raid your location.
Great Scott!
Man,
They're leading Owen Shaw right to your door.
The guy from Fortnite?
He's doing like
So
Fortnite
nice.
dances while Ludacris is talking in the background.
It reminds me of like I don't know. It's very much got the energy of like talking on the Haunted Mansion, like when you're in like the one
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Where it's just like it's
in
so.
the stretching room.
If this is your first time riding this ride, not to say that like you're missing much, but like oh my god, like I would be like so annoyed / overstimulated with just like how much is going on in this one scene. Like
He's just going like he hits the gritty.
he hits the gray, he walks from one area to the room. He's like, bruh, what's going on, bro?
Oh yeah, he's like, let him cook, I guess.
I mean,
This is like the Talon, right?
yeah, and it's like, okay, more recently what I've heard is that now they're on the train actors that, yeah, I mean, a lot of the time they're very stiff because a lot of them are really nervous. I get it. It's probably a very daunting job if you're not expecting to do that. I get that a little bit. But
Yeah.
the team members that are currently doing the acting side of it, I'm very curious to ride this ride again. Honestly, just for this experience alone, just people just going like ham now and just like riffing off of it because that sounds like kind of miserable. I don't know. My whole thing
Yeah,
with
he's
this video,
doing like a Jungle Cruise skipper bit, and it's
Yeah,
like
but-
it's really hard to watch.
Yeah. Like, this already very disorienting ride now has this guy, like, just dancing around and being like, look at me! And it's like, oh my
I will
God.
say though, there were probably a lot of kids in the audience for that one specifically.
Yeah.
And if he's just trying to make some kids laugh, that's fine.
There's no harm in that.
But it's just
No,
like
yeah.
watching that.
Wait, does anyone laugh in the audience?
I couldn't
don't
really
remember
hear
anyone
it.
laughing.
It was kind of quiet, but like
A
mean,
little, okay,
there's a couple
yeah, a
chuckles.
little bit. He makes a joke about Ludacris's hairline, I guess.
If
Yeah.
you were there personally, would you like give some pity chuckles?
I would look at
Would
you
be like-
guys.
Yeah, I'd be like my hands in the head kind of thing. I'd be like, oh man,
I don't think I'd be able to put some pity chuckles in. I'd probably also look at
Oh.
you guys and be like,
just
what's
like
going
hands in
on?
my head, just like all right.
I think we should
Yeah.
go.
Let's just wait this out and hope that it doesn't last more than like the fucking video. Because like if I was stuck in the room for like an additional 10 minutes with him riffing, like while we were waiting for like a delay, I think I might actually go crazy.
Oh, yeah, imagine if the ride's like down for a couple
it's like,
minutes.
oh, yeah,
and
like
he has
he's
to
got like
keep
he's like
it.
what? Here we go.
He's like, well, I got a couple other Fortnite dances I can do. That's literally like their stage direction. They're
Yeah.
like, be like a Tom Holland, like neurotic, like Donald Glover type of guy.
Oh my God. I just have to imagine like he's just being like just you got this delay and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I've been teaching Dom and the other guys how to, what Fortnite is and stuff like that and just
Oh
like
my god.
yeah, got a little
yeah,
bit of
he
this and of
references
that
Fortnite.
and he's like starting to dance around and it's just like all right, the doors are open, you just run through there Like, just get me on this ride. Let's just get this over with.
Well, speaking of the doors are open, they have their own version of the tram vehicle.
It's the party bus. And the party bus is based in... I get that they're just...
Period.
Yeah, listen,
it's based, period.
It's based! Because if you're just going to reskin the attraction and just put it over there, like, at least you're not just being like, well, just get on the tram and let's not question it. Like, they're trying to tie it in, like, just barely. There's, like, flashing lights and all this goofy shit. Like, they're trying to.
And it has a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of heart to it. Yeah,
there's a lot of heart and effort put into it.
I do not know if I agree.
The suicide doors... Those have a lot of heart to it, if you think about it.
The suicide doors do go hard.
Yeah, and then, like, the music's pumping in there. And, like, okay, at least now whenever you pull up to the party scene, it seems a little bit more like, oh, you're getting people on board or something. But obviously that doesn't happen. It's just, again, a reskin. Like, I don't know. Flashing lights, strobing lights. It's kind of magical. You gotta just kind of take it as it is. All right? Like, if you guys are not going to give me a roller coaster...
I think this is, like, a little more painful than the in Hollywood. Because in Hollywood, at least... You get to do the tram experience. You do the tour, which is actually really cool.
I was gonna say that about this. Is that here? Like Supercharged is probably like the worst attraction at Hollywood, but you get to ride the tram tour, and like the studio tour is still my favorite, even if you go on the Fast and the Furious.
I mean, I would argue it's probably the best thing you could do at Universal Studios. I mean, I love the Mummy ride. I think the Mummy ride's super cool, but like this...
No, here's the thing. Okay, they rethemed Jurassic Park, so probably this is the best ride for me.
In Orlando, it's a little more insulting because you don't get to ride the tram. You wait like 60 minutes.
Oh my god.
Who knows? It could be like if you go like peak summertime, and you're in the Orlando heat in like July, and you've never ridden the Fast and the Furious ride, you're probably like, oh, let's get on this. It's a 1 minute or a 2 minute experience.
Seriously.
You get out of it probably being like, that was it? That sucked.
It's crazy because, I mean, this is a popular franchise. People are going to be flocking to it no matter what. It's like Transformers. Like, there's always going to be a big queue for it. But a lot of people don't know what they're getting into. The guest satisfaction rate is actually higher on days when this attraction is closed. This is a thing that's been tracked. Is that... Universal Orlando, the actual, like, is just like a smidge higher because of the attraction being closed. And I think that's, like, really, really a testament, I guess, to just what's going on with that attraction. Even the CEO of the parks is, like, on a limb and be like, I think my biggest mistake as the CEO of these parks is just, like, greenlighting Fast and the Furious. And he just, like, that's, like, the most
that's
open...
Right, he said that.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, it's like he openly just shit-talked.
No, I know. I've seen the video where, like, the...
Yeah.
Vice CEO of the parks or whatever. He's like, yeah, my biggest regret, Fast and the Furious Supercharged.
Yeah, and everybody like laughs it off, and it's like, damn, like he probably means that, like, for real, like to like an extent, you know.
Have they ever thought about removing the attraction at either park?
I don't know. They've rethemed that specific attraction at Universal like 3 or 4 times in like since I've been alive.
Yeah, that one always does kind of switch around. Right?
Yeah, you know, it was Earthquake, and then it became the Disaster, and then it became the Fast and the Furious ride. But even before that, it was like King Kong, I think. Or no, I think I got that twisted around. I think that's where Mummy used to be, like in that vicinity.
Yeah, that's where Mummy. And I just found that out today while I was like doing all my ride tours and his research and stuff. I was like, oh, I didn't know they had like a Mummy thing on it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like on the bones of that one, but. Yeah.
And they do the scarab trick on your legs.
Mm-hmm. It's like, woo, it's like a little projector thing. I don't know.
Larry, do you like the scarab? Did you like the scarab trick when you were a kid?
You get scared? Yeah, with the bugs.
Where they like blow air on your legs when you ride the ride.
Like when you're running, like during the Mummy.
It was a little funny. It kind of scared me a little bit, but I liked it a little bit.
Very similar feeling to Shrek whenever they drop the spiders on you and they start blowing express air.
I thought that scared me. That actually scared me.
That really freaked me out. And they have like the spiders drop down from the ceiling in a very it's tough to be a bug way, where there's like little prop spiders that come out for just a couple seconds, and it scared the shit out of me. I was not ready for that.
I missed that ride.
So, I think in the news, when it comes to the Fast and the Furious rides, they're making a coaster now here in California,
which is kind of incredible. Like I mean, they must have heard what people were saying, because I know pretty much everybody and their mom was like, Fast and the Furious, that should be like a roller coaster.
It really should, really always should have.
They must have heard my thoughts when I was 7 years old, watching like the Tokyo Drift, like spinning car thing. They would probably just like, okay, let's actually make it a roller coaster because that makes sense.
Yeah, that kid was right.
But I wanted to ask everybody, if you were in control of the parks, and let's say you're the CEO and you're about to greenlight a Fast and the Furious attraction, what would you want from that? I feel like, in my personal opinion, I would want something sort of like Radiator Springs Racers, where you see all these characters, you go by, and you're like, okay, and then you have like a little race at the end. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like kind of like the best of both worlds in a way. You know, like that's probably what I would want out of it.
I
even
will
if it's
say
just a
that
clone.
it's like, it's clear they were working under a budget with this ride. Like, it's pretty clear.
Or like space or whatever.
I kind of want, like, just, they could make it like a roller coaster or a Radiator Springs type, but I want the plot to be like, I want it to be true to Fast and the Furious. I just want to be like batshit insane, and just like if you,
Yeah, that would be cool. Imagine like an Incredicoaster scale Fast and the Furious ride.
that would actually be fun. That would actually be sick.
I think that's what they're going
Yeah.
for. I think that's the aim. Like, from what I've been seeing of like the construction on that, it looks big, like really big attraction,
okay.
like roller coaster. Yeah, I'm like,
It's gonna be the biggest ride in
California.
California. I think that's what they said, right? It's or not in the entirety of the state, but in the park, in the Universal Park, it's gonna be the biggest ride there.
They're trying to hype it up that way. Yeah, it's a coaster that's going to kind of outweigh like the Mummy and stuff, which is like, you know, that's like a big undertaking in itself.
That's like
such
the
a
only
classic, you know,
coaster in Hollywood.
I don't know.
It's the Mummy ride and the Universal one. So
Yeah.
getting another coaster after I don't know how long it's been, probably like 2 decades. Like I imagine this is actually going to be a good ride. I have high hopes actually for this one.
I do too. There's like lower stakes too because it's just a roller coaster.
And I'm all right with that. You know, I think that's like doing what it needs to do as like the Fast and the Furious ride. Like, you get
Wait,
your
what if they do
G-force,
some
you get-
cosmic rewind? What if they do some escape from Gringotts shit? Do you think they're gonna do
Honest
that?
to God, that'd be so. It's not an indoor coaster, but like maybe a section could be. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of it, but imagine if like part of it was like inside like indoor
Yeah,
coaster
and
kind of
they're
thing,
like-
and you get some show scenes. I'd be so down with that.
Yo, we got a free Hobbs.
You do a race with Dominique. He's like, all right, I see you're pretty good. I see this wasn't a joke. You're always one of the family with me here, man.
You always
And
one of
that's
the
like-
family with me. You stay, I go.
Yeah,
I agree.
Superman. Anyway, thank you for riding the ride. So, I think that about gets to about where I'm at with this attraction. Is there anything else y'all want to add?
I actually secretly have loved the ride the entire time. I think it's really good.
I could tell.
It's like, I actually
Yeah.
hate the Studio Lot tour, but when it gets to the Fast and the Furious Supercharged, I get like super hyped up. I become like a big public nuisance, and everyone like stares at me and gets super mad, but I don't care. I get supercharged.
you got supercharged, just like those Panera lemonades.
Just like Panera lemonades.
Ew.
I actually drink.
Are they called the
I
same
actually drink
thing?
2 of
What are
those
they
right before I
called?
start to ride that ride.
You got to be like even more. They should have like a energy drink in that park, like in that area. And the
Oh
gift
my
shop's
god,
called
I was
Nitrous
just thinking
Oxide.
about that. I was like, wait, they don't have any
Yeah.
like special like Fast and the Furious food.
They
But
need like
wait.
a bar or something. Like it could be like the quick fix or something. Like just like something
Not
like
a bar.
silly.
That's
You're
like
yeah,
that's like drinking and driving. You can't do that.
click it or ticket. That's our little bar.
Click it or ticket type thing.
But no, you get. I think they like just have like, oh, it's a quick fix or pit stop or something like that, something cutesy like that, and they just make it like a bar or something. Like that'd be kind of cool. I could get fucked up and go on this ride and probably enjoy it a little bit better.
I don't know.
Like,
I
in
feel
a
like
way,
I'll throw up.
I don't know. It's so quick that you probably would be like, yeah, man. Like I just like imagine people just getting hyped and like just getting off that ride like drunk and obnoxious, and I'm like, you gotta like meet it at its level.
I know you get alcoholic beverages at Universal Studios California, so I imagine there's probably been a couple drunk people who've been on that ride who probably had like the worst like experience of all time.
Are you saying?
Hell yeah, brother.
Are you saying people pre-game going on the tram tour but getting really drunk?
People pregame the studio.
Gaming the Studio Lot tour.
They're taking fucking poppers.
We're pre-gaming the fucking museum, bro. We're going into the museum and then we're gonna get really wasted. It's like I don't know. Like that seems pretty funny to be like yelling at like the tour guide and like like on the. So take it from us. We're gonna give you the one man's chili challenge. and we want you to pregame the Studio Lot tour.
That's right. We also want you to climb the pyramid at the. We want you to climb the pyramid
At
at
the
the
Epcot, Mexico.
Pavilion.
Yeah, just let them know that we're not joking.
right.
We're not joking. This is the one man's chili.
If you get to the top and say one man's chili at the top of your lungs, we'll let you be on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll let you be on the 100th episode, special edition. Yeah, if we if we get that far, I say that very boldly for episode 1.
I think we could get to episode 100. We could shoot 99 more episodes tonight and get there.
Yeah,
I think,
honestly.
you know what? I gotta get some Panera Supercharges, so I can get supercharged to fucking to completion.
Yeah.
I want to be supercharged to completion, friend. I think everybody here wants to too. So, with that, unless there's anything else anybody wants to add.
I love Dominic Toretto.
You always part of the family.
Yeah, and you know what? Everybody here, everyone listening with us today, you're a part of the family.
You're part of the
and
family.
you know what? Maybe just because maybe we can be like Dominic Toretto was to us on the attraction, and just let you know that you're part of our family.
That's
And we're
right.
here for you.
That's right. One
So,
man's chili, everyone's pot.
That's right.
That's right.
We got great depression food for everybody. So with that, I think that about wraps episode 1 up. Thank you for listening to One Man's Chili, and we hope
Bye-bye.
that
Bye-bye.
we can serve you again.
See you soon.
Coming up next time.
Next episode will be on Astro Orbiters. It'll be twice as long as this one.
And after
Yeah, let's
that
talk
one,
about-
we're going to do Astroworld.
We're gonna do the teacups, and we'll just get that one out of the way for everybody. Anyway, bye. See ya.
Bye.